Testing, testing. All senators. Can people on Zoom hear me?
Yes.
Colorado State University acknowledges with respect the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other Native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties natives have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept, that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion. And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is that education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. All right, with that, we will now move to this. We have swearing in the senators and associate senators today. I'll open any motions to add any senator and associate senator on the agenda. For what purposes do you seek recognition?
I would like to move to have Antonio Torres from El Centers sworn in as an associate senator.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. We will now swear a parliamentarian. Please make that change to the agenda. To add in, can you please repeat the name? Speaker Pro Tem.
Antonio Torres, A-N-T-O.
Just send me the name.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I got you.
Okay. Will the new senator designate please come to be sworn in, and will the Chief Justice please administer the oath of office?
Oh, you're right. Okay, that's fine. I'll send it over to Cory. Oh, you're good.
I don't know. Do you want this one?
Senator, Associate Senator, please, will you please come to be sworn in? Thank you.
You can just stand right here and just turn this on. And you can just. Nope. I state your name,
I, Antonella,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth
set forth
by the Associated Students
by the Associated Students
of Colorado State University
of Colorado State University
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
All right, let's give a hand of applause. All right, congratulations. With that, we will now begin our beginning roll call. If you hear your name, please state aye please state present or here.
Senator Silverheart. Oh, sorry. I'm here. I can do it. Is that okay?
I thought that you were still on.
Senator Silverheart. Senator Sandoval.
Present.
Senator Shepherd.
For what purposes does the senator seek recognition?
Silverheart said he
Will you please repeat the point of information? And Mike. And clearly, please.
Silverheart said he emailed me. Yeah, you're good.
Senator Shepherd.
Present.
Senator Baum.
Present.
Senator Deason,
Present.
Senator Nivert,
Present.
Senator Brown, Senator Shearer,
Present.
Senator Pyfrom, Senator Moshe,
Present.
Senator May,
Present.
Senator Tennyson,
Present.
Senator Rosales Garcia, Senator Long,
Yeah, present.
Senator Correa, Senator Martyr, Senator Mumford,
Present.
Senator Bilodeau,
Present.
Senator Laffey,
Present.
Senator Trout,
Present.
Senator Kramer,
Present.
Senator Anthony,
Present.
Senator Carlisle,
Present.
Senator Tulis,
Present.
Senator Berg,
Present.
Point of information, Senator Correa is present.
Associate Senator Tefera, Associate Senator Quintana, Associate Senator Reeves,
Present.
Associate Senator Patterson, Associate Senator Davis, Associate Senator Torres, Speaker of this, Speaker of the Senate Hill,
Present.
Speaker Pro Tempore Jenkins,
Here.
Parliamentarian Hunter,
Here.
Chair Athey,
Here.
Chair Welch,
Here.
Chair Osterhout,
Here.
Chair Morgan,
Present.
Chair Ritter,
Here.
and Chair Torres Doxy.
Here. Is there any senator or associate senator who clerk has not called?
Yes, Senator Martyr is here.
I don't know. McKenna was able to grab me, but pipe from here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Senator Martyr is present.
Okay. Is there any other senator or associate senator who's not been called yet? Seeing none, we will now move into our consent agenda. Is there any dissent from approving our consent agenda from last week's minutes? I already stated that.
Sorry, I was out of there. My bad.
Is there any dissent to our consent agenda? Seeing none, we'll now move to our guest speakers. We have Walker Sparling for the bike rack proposal. Will parliamentarian please pull up the PowerPoint? Thank you. You have the floor for 30 minutes.
And it takes a second.
For what purposes is the chair seeking recognition?
So as per our accessibility guidelines, the presentation tonight went out to only the members in the speaker's Senate's list, not to all of our constituents, and the constantly updated list at the front desk. So again, as for accessibility, this presentation tonight needs to be read out in its entirety, and I have already spoken to our guest speaker about this. Again, I implore the members of the body to not be rolling your eyes and frustrated at this. All of you represent disabled students, and accessibility needs to be a priority. Documents need to be sent out by the front desk, and when they miss that deadline, they only get sent by the speaker. You're not being transparent and inclusive. Thank you, I yield.
So just tell me when to move on.
Hello, is this on? Great. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Walker Sparling, and I'd like to propose a bike rack on the CSU campus. Next slide, please. So the problem that I'm addressing with this proposal is that students are locking their bikes to trees and handicap signs on the north side of the CSU remote lot 740. On the bottom right of the screen, I have a map. This is where the CSU remote lot 740 is in comparison to the rest of the campus. And then on the left are pictures that I took a couple weeks ago when I pitched this idea to Kyle that show people walking their bikes to trees and handicap signs. And I took these pictures on a Thursday, Saturday, and a Sunday. So 3 different time points. Next slide, please. So the solution is that we put in, or that a bike rack should be put in on the north side of the CSU remote lot 740, preferably in this red circle area, because that is where all the people who are locking their bikes to the trees and handicap signs, that's where they all are already. And so the problem is localized there. So a bike rack there would solve the problem. It could be dirt, gravel, or rocks, as some other bike racks around campus are, to cut costs. So it's not so expensive to have to pave a whole area for a bike rack. And then before I get into this quote here, let pedestrians define the walkways, I would also like to preface this by saying that there is a bike rack right below the words tennis pavilion on this picture. And it's used for the bus stop, the VTH/tennis court around the Horn shuttle stop. It's the southernmost point that the shuttle goes to. And it's used for the bus stop, obviously, and then the tennis courts and some of the parking. However, moving into this quote, let pedestrians define the walkways. It's from a book called Hell Yeah or No. And the book is just a different way of, it provides different ways of thinking about things. And there's a scenario in the book where a new college campus has just been built and the administrators are looking for places to put pathways so that students can get from class to class and building to building. So some of the administrators are saying, well, let's just put a pathway right through all the big grassy areas. Other administrators are saying, well, let's put it around the grassy areas. But then one final administrator says, let's wait a semester, see where the grass is worn down from students walking on it to get to class, and then put paths where they're walking on it to get to the classes. So to tie that back into this proposal, if the administrators are putting the pathways where students are already walking, it would make sense to then put bike racks where students are already parking their bikes on the north part of the remote lot 740. Next slide, please. So I just have a few pros and cons, lastly, that I'd like to go over. The first pro is students would stop walking their bikes to the trees and the handicap signs. The next pro is that it would also serve as a bike rack for the center and research bus stop. And the bus stop is just to the north of the CSU remote lot 740 as well. And it does not have a current bike rack, so this could also double as that. Next pro would be increased accessibility to the remote 740 parking lots. Because students may see that there's another way, another option, rather than taking the around the horn shuttle or walking, that they can get to the remote lot. The next pro is that more students may bike instead of taking the around the horn shuttle, which is a more sustainable method of travel, and it is also healthier for people to bike instead of taking a shuttle. The next pro is that it's also a method of fast transportation to the remote 740 lots when the shuttle is not running. And the around the horn shuttle does not run on Sundays. And then on Monday through Saturday, the last stop that it makes at the VTH/tennis court stop is 6:26 p.m. So there is a time period on Sundays and holidays and after 6:26 p.m. on weekdays and Saturdays that the shuttle is not running. So the only way to get there would be to walk or to bike, and having a bike rack would be great in this scenario. The next pro is that it could lead to increased remote parking pass sales. Because if students see that there's another place for them to park their bike, they might be more inclined to purchase a parking pass and bike to the remote lots for their car. Next pro is that less policing would be required to remove the bikes from the handicap signs and from the trees. And this works in 2 ways. First of all, the police, of course, less policing required for that. But then secondly, if students have negative experiences with the CSUPD where they're removing their bikes from handicap signs and trees, that could create negative associations of the CSUPD. And having a bike rack here would obviously eliminate that chance entirely. Final pro that I have is that it does not take up too much space. It'd only be about 1 or 2 parking spots worth, and it doesn't have to even take up a parking spot. It could be outside of the parking lot as well. A couple of cons that I have, first of all, would be having to install a new piece of infrastructure. It obviously takes time and money and resources to do this. However, because a bike rack is not a gigantic piece of infrastructure and there are plenty of pros, I believe that the pros outweigh the cons of the costs. And the second con that I have is that there is minimal lighting on the north side of the parking lot. So students using the bike rack in the nighttime hours may feel unsafe using it. However, this could be remedied by either putting in a light fixture for the bike rack, however, that would increase costs, or it could be built as close as possible to an existing lighting fixture around the outside of the parking lot that's there already. So that is my presentation or my proposition for a new bike rack on the CSU remote lot 740. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
We'll now open 10 minutes of Q&A, starting with the first placard. Senator Anthony. Recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you. I just got a quick question for you. So I'm not familiar with that area of campus. So can you give me a brief idea of what buildings, what halls, like what is overall in that general area, and like what students are going to utilize that for? I mean, obviously the tennis courts are there, but who else is going to be affected by that? By like who can utilize that bike rack?
So I'm mainly targeting this towards the users of the CSU remote parking lot, because that parking lot is about a mile away from the Lake Street parking garage and the Aggie Village apartments for reference. So that is kind of a longer walk, and especially in the night hours, it might be easier to bike and it'd be faster to bike. I personally park my car in the remote 740 lots, and I do choose biking as my preferred method of transportation to get there. And there is a problem that I have seen with people locking their bikes to the trees and the handicap signs. And this is a way of remedying that problem as well.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is let's say we get the bike rack in, right? My next question would be then how can I advertise to the students, hey, there's a bike rack here? Because it's one thing to just put the bike there and then students not even know that it's there or know that it's an option. So it's like, in your opinion, what's the best way that we can get that out to the students that, hey, there's another bike rack here that you guys can utilize to get more use towards that and get more support behind the bike rack idea?
I believe the best way to do that would be when you're purchasing a parking permit and you go to that parking permit portal area. If next to the remote bike or the remote parking lot section where you purchase that permit, it could have a little section saying that there are adequate bike racks to get to and from campus. So that way people are aware of it.
I'm sorry, your mic
For
is
what
not on.
purposes do you have a point of permission?
His mic is not on.
Please turn on your mic, please. Thank you.
Hello?
You can use this mic over here if you wish.
I think it's dead. Yeah.
Okay.
So that will be on here.
Okay, moving to better things here. All right. Does that answer your question?
It does, thank you. I yield.
Okay, with that, Senator Sandoval.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you have an idea of the price range of what these bike racks are going to cost? And would you want ASCSU to sponsor them, or how would you propose to get them paid? If that makes any sense whatsoever.
I've talked to one of my colleagues who works in the ASCSU, and he says that it may be around $1,000 to $2,000 for all the resources and the actual equipment required. As far as how it's paid for, I'm not entirely sure of the allocation of funds or where that would come from. However, I would be willing to draft a bill with the senator of the College of Natural Resources to help explain that. But at this time, I'm not entirely sure.
Thank you. I yield.
All right, Senator Carlisle.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you know what parking pass is like for that general area?
Yeah, it's the remote. It's just an R, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the number of students that use that one, do you happen to have an estimate number? Because I know like most people, well, not most people, like off campus is a Z, staff is A. How big of a population, if you know, is the students or faculty who have that R pass?
I am not entirely sure. I will say that the lots are usually half full. That's not a very good, it's hard to picture, I imagine. I will say that it is a preferred parking pass for me and a couple other friends that I know because it's cheaper than a lot of the on-campus parking passes. And for people who only need their car on the weekends or to go skiing or to go down to Denver, it's a great option for them to park there. But I'm not entirely sure how many people use that. I don't have those numbers or statistics.
Okay, for sure. Because my first thought was you can park for free on campus during the weekend on certain areas. So then I guess on like certain areas.
And that's the remote parking.
Yeah. Which is like, let's say, I think I know which lot you're talking about. I think it's just the one, correct?
I could pull it up again. I have a picture on the second slide that shows where it is in relation to campus. On the bottom right there, in the red circle, now it's kind of hard to see for those in the back. That's where the remote parking lots are. However, even though there is free parking at certain places on campus over the weekends, there still is a time after 6 p.m. that the shuttle doesn't go. So if students on the weekdays, I mean, so if students are going to campus early in the day, they would still have to pay for parking at either the Lake Street parking garage or by the Morgan Library. So I believe this would be a good solution to that.
Okay, thank you. I yield my time.
A point of clarification. So the 740 lot is right by the veterinarian teaching hospital, which is on the south side, and 740 is considered 2 lots. So just to make sure everyone knows where we're talking about.
All right, Senator Moshe, did you have a question? Okay. Senator Long, recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield because Senator Sandoval answered the question.
Chair Osterhout, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
I yield to redundancy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair Welch, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
So my first question is, have you talked to alternative transportation, however you guys call it, but basically there's a group that like deals with alternative transportation, including buses or bikes, and they find stuff like the roundabout outside. Have you talked to them at all about any of this?
I have not talked to them at all about any of this. I originally wanted to propose this because every time I go to the remote parking lots, there are people who are chaining their bikes to the handicap signs in the trees. And so that's originally what kind of spurred this presentation, but I have not spoken to them now.
Okay, I think maybe speak to them too, just in case it falls through here. I don't know, that's another group that could do this, and I think this should, something like this might want to happen. My other question is, there's another bike rack in that area. I've seen it, because I have bikes here before, parked there before. How full is that bike rack when there's bikes chained to all these trees?
It is usually around half full. However, I would say that that was in a way the purpose of my analogy with to let the students define the pathways, because it is a little out of the way, and if people are already chaining their bikes to the trees and the handicap signs, they would benefit from having a closer bike rack.
Okay, and then the last one is, how many bikes do you want this bike rack to hold?
Ideally 20. I was thinking maybe 2 of the little, like, you know the
Yeah,
bikes there, like
bike, of course, yeah.
2 of those would be more than sufficient, I think.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Thank you. Yep, that's all my questions. I yield my time. Thank you very much.
Keep in mind, we have 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Senator Baum, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
I yield. Welch has answered my question.
Okay, with that, Senator Tulis, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
I yield.
Okay, Senator Mumford, I also recognize you for 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you. I actually also yield. My question was just answered as well.
Thank you. Senator Brown, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
Okay, so taking into consideration that the area is like not well lit, have you considered making better use of like the bike ride by the tennis court? Because I'm just thinking as a female walking to a bike rack at nighttime, that might be a little threatening. So just a quick consideration.
I have considered the lighting around the tennis courts because it is good. However, there is lighting around the edges of the parking lot in the area that I am talking about. There are the big floodlights or the big parking lots. I don't really know how you describe them, sorry. But if the bike rack could be as close as possible to one of those, because they are on the edge of the parking lot, then I believe that would provide sufficient light for the bike rack to be, for people to be safe when using it.
All right, is there any other senator, we have 1 minute left. Is there any other senator who wishes to speak? Ask a question. Chair Athy, I recognize you for the rest of our time.
My only question is that can we create some kind of list for anyone who would like to work with? Sparling? This is kind of towards you, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, yes. Yes, I suggested to Mr. Sparling to work with either myself or the college, because you are what's your college, sir?
Natural Sciences.
College of Natural Sciences. Can you, for the senator for the College of Natural Science, raise his or her or their hand? Okay, well, Chair Welch, for what purposes do you seek recognition?
Just a quick stage, I've built bike rack before, so I'll happily try to help you with this. So that'll be kind of.
Okay. Well, okay, well, we'll let that go through, but that was not a point of nation, but thank you. Okay. That is our time. Time for Q&A has expired. All right, is there any, if there's no further motion to extend, then thank you, Mr. Sparling. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
What purposes of the chair's recognition?
I have a point of order. Can we share Sparling's email so that we can contact them?
Mr. Sparling, would you like to yield, Mr. Sparling?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, that is great. I would love to contact any of you who would like to work with me.
Microphone.
Please use the mic.
Yes, I'd love to work with any of you. My email, I'd love for you to pass out my email to anyone who would like to work with me.
All right, thank you. With that, we will now move to the next in our agenda, which is our gallery input. Is there any member of the gallery who wishes to speak? For what, Vice President? And get
Sorry, can I just make a quick motion before gallery input?
You may make your motion.
All right, I would like to motion to put SFRB ratifications after gallery input. I second.
Okay, so we do not have SFRB ratifications at all. We do on our agenda. So okay, you motion to add the SFRB after which spot?
After gallery input.
After gallery input, noted. Then is there a second to this motion? Requires a 2/3 vote to pass. Since it's in addition to our agenda. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. We will not please add that to the agenda, parliamentarian. Okay, with that, we will now move into our gallery input. Is there any member in the gallery who wishes to speak? May do so at this time. All right, going once, twice. With that, we will now move to our executive reports. Is there any member of the executive branch wishing to speak? May do so at this time. Oh. SFRB, we will now begin SFRB ratifications. Vice President Gaprasadek, please present your nominations. Thank you.
This one doesn't work, so
You have 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Senate. I know we've been doing a lot of ratifications every week, so I appreciate you all. So today we just have one member getting ratified, hopefully, and it's Jessica. Jessica is a freshman studying economics, has prior experience with budgets as a member of the budget committee of the 4-H Junior Leadership Club here in Fort Collins. Has 3 years of experience in that club, and this club actively manages around $26,000. And she also wants to expand her knowledge of finance and budgets within SFRB, and wants to contribute, wants to make a positive impact within SFRB. So we're ready for Q&A.
All right, I will open 10 minutes of Q&A, starting with the first placard. Charity, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker Hill. How do you plan to uphold the university and ASCSU initiatives of diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Thank you very much for that question. So I intend to uphold the CSU principles mainly by listening to diverse groups across campus. I understand that we have a lot of representation over such a big university, and that's really, really a blessing to all of us, that we can have so much different opinions, and we can all grow our, and we can all learn from each other and learn from everybody else's experience. So I mainly intend to fulfill those principles by listening to other groups and what they have to say during my time on SFRB. Does that answer your question? Thanks.
It's your job to represent all identities, not just those that you hold. How do you intend to ensure that you're doing this?
The question was, how do I intend to
ensure that you're representing all identities, not just
the
those
question
that you
was, how do I intend to ensure that I'm representing all identities? I think this also goes back to the answer of listening to the people around me. I don't really know how to say it other than kind of how I already have, but like I said, there are a lot of people here, just even looking around the room and people outside of this room. You know, this campus has 36,000, or yes, around a little more than that, 36,000 students, and just all sorts of different points of views that we can all really learn from. And so to hear those and to internalize them during my time on SFRB would definitely mean a lot.
Thank you. How are you going to recognize your inherent biases?
The question was, how am I going to recognize my inherent biases? In answer to your question, understanding, I believe I kind of already answered that question with regards to listening to different people groups. Does that not answer your question? Or are you looking for something more?
I think the question of how you're representing everyone was absolutely answered. The question of recognizing your own biases to different groups was what I was trying to
Got it. Thank you. So obviously, I have my own biases, is what I believe the question is trying to get at. And so different, I think just being actively involved, and I think the Student View Review Board, we do a lot of different, like, I believe the Student View Review Board 3 weeks ago went to the, what's the gym area called? Sorry, the Student Rec Center, my bad. And we go to different places all throughout the year. We're gonna visit Slice at some point and different organizations all throughout campus. And so learning more about those organizations within SFRB, I think it gives you a great opportunity, not just to learn about managing budgets, and that's something I really love to do and something I'm really looking forward to learning more about. But I think it's bigger than that in the sense that you're going to learn so much about the communities here on campus.
Thank you. I yield my time.
Chair Osterhout, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got 2 questions, but I'm going to hit you with them at the same time. So my first question is, what are you most excited for if you are ratified tonight to be on SFRB? And how did you hear about SFRB?
So the first question was, what am I most excited about tonight, or excited about heading into SFRB if I am ratified? I think really just working with budgets. I've had some experience with this level of helping other people. In my previous club, we helped and give scholarships to kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to do projects or whatnot without them. And it was just really a great opportunity to, one, learn, and yes, to grow myself, but also to be a benefit to the people around me. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to most is being a servant leader in that capacity within SFRB. And then your second question was, how did I learn about SFRB? My older brother, who in here, he graduated about 4 years ago or so, he was part of, I don't think student government, but he told me about SFRB. And then my younger brother, who is also in this room right now, also told me about SFRB. And I was actually here last week when he was ratified. So that's how I learned about SFRB.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. I yield my time, Mr. Speaker.
All right. With that, is there any other senator or associate senator wishing to ask questions? Chair Welch, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
All right, thank you. So SFRB is a time commitment. How do you plan to balance SFRB with everything else you do at university?
Thank you. That's an excellent question. The question was, how do I intend to balance SFRB with everything else, college schedules, everything in life? So I've already quitted my other time commitment on Monday night in order to be part of SFRB. So that completely leaves open my Monday evening. And so due to that time being out of the way now, I have the opportunity to manage my time and to fit SFRB in there on Monday nights from 4 to 6. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. I yield my time.
Okay, with that, is there any other senator or associate senator who wishes to speak? Ask a question. Seeing none, with that, we will now move into this 30 minutes discussion debate. Will the candidates please exit the Senate chambers? Thank you. Okay, we'll allow 30 minutes of discussion and debate, starting with the first placard. Senator Deason, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
I motion a previous question.
Motion has been made for previous question. All those in favor, is it seconded?
Seconded.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion to previous question has been made. We will now move to voting.
Motion for unanimous consent.
A motion for unanimous consent has been made. Is there any dissent? Sorry? Did I hear a dissent? No. Okay, without objection, so ordered. Our candidate has been ratified through unanimous consent. Please keep side conversations to a minimum. Thank you. On a vote of 29 to 0 through unanimous consent, this candidate has been ratified. Congratulations. All right. Okay, with that, we'll now move into our executive reports. President Dixon, I recognize you for maybe 10
Wait,
minutes.
we have to do that.
Sorry. Oh, swearing in. Jeez. Sorry, it's been a long week. Will the Chief Justice please swear in the oath of office? Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
I state your name.
I, Jessica Laffey,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
Will you speak into the microphone?
set, sorry,
You're good.
set forth
by the Constitution
by the Constitution
of the Associated Students
of the Associated Students
of Colorado State University
of Colorado State University
and will rightfully perform
the
duties of my office
duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Good luck. Okay. With that, now I think we can go to executive reports. President Dixon, I recognize you for about 10 minutes.
Actually, it's me first, but it's okay.
Vice President Gebert Sadek, I recognize you for 10 minutes.
All right, so I just wanted to remind you all that next week is the 2021 Diversity Symposium. So it's going to be Monday through Friday. So I encourage you all to register ahead of time and attend all the sessions that you can. All of the sessions will be recorded, so you can access that a month ahead of time or after a month of the Diversity Symposium. But it's just a really great opportunity to see a lot of cool keynote speakers, and they always have really cool discussions. So just wanted to remind you all.
All right, is there any other member of the executive branch wishing to speak? Chief of Staff Ryder, the chair recognizes you for 10 minutes.
Hi team, what's up? My name's Carter, pronouns are she or hers. Just wanted to do a little reminder and then a little update. We had our DEI training tonight in cabinet, went really well. And then the week of, well, I guess actually on 11/3, so not next week, but the week after that, there's going to be a conflict resolution training that's also held in cabinet that again, y'all are invited to. I believe that we're working with all branches to have a little bit more marketing for that one in particular. And the following week after that, we're also going to have a suicide prevention training within cabinet. So y'all are invited. I'll be back again next week to remind you about those, and you can come to any of them. Please come to any of them.
All right, recognize President Dixon for 10 minutes.
Hello, my friends. It's good to see you all. Also, the room is packed tonight, which is amazing. You all are doing incredible work. I'd love to start with maybe on Friday. How many of you all were at the Color of Food event with Natalie Bowens-Blair? Couple? Okay, so that was amazing. I was incredibly grateful for her work, her literature, her insights. And this Saturday, we have an opportunity to go tour RDEC facility. Have any of you all heard of this before? It's one of the groups that's partnering with Rems Against Hunger to bring produce into Rems Against Hunger and the food that they offer. And so it's over by the Budweiser Event Center. They're incredible, the work that they're doing. It's two graduate students, if I'm not mistaken, and then another individual who's helped sort of build that program up to what it is today. And I'd say it's one of the most successful examples of a private-public partnership relating to food security. And so at 4 p.m. on Saturday, they're opening their doors essentially for us to come and experience the work that they do. It's their last day for harvest, so it'd be a chance to sort of see the work that they're doing in action. If this is something you're interested in, please come find me and we can talk details. But it's Saturday at 4 p.m. We can definitely arrange rides if need be. It should be a pretty amazing experience. The job description for the business and community liaison is open. So if you all know anyone who wants to apply, please send that their way. It's on the ASCSU website right at the top. It closes on November 1st. So let them know that deadline, and then we will be releasing those applications to the general body, to our listserv, just for transparency measures. And I'll be clear in saying that Chief of Staff Ryder, Vice President Giver-Sadek, and Deputy Chief of Staff Milson are going to be the interview committee. So I'll be stepping back from this one since I know some folks that are applying. But I'd encourage you all, please tell your friends about that position. It'll be really important in building a bridge with the businesses and the nonprofits here in Fort Collins. I spoke with Eric Ishawada. Have any of you all heard of Eric Ishawada? He's a faculty member in ethnic studies and has worked a lot with some of the undocumented students on campus. And so we had a really good conversation about the future of what hopefully will be an immigrant services director position. That was the recommendation from the Provost Financial Student Advisory Committee. He was excited and offered a lot of important insights. And one anecdote that I'd just like to share with you all to sort of put into context some of the issues that undocumented students are facing. He was sharing about how for 3 years, he's been trying to figure out a sustainable way to help undocumented students obtain healthcare. And he was describing stories of students who couldn't afford to get their wisdom teeth removed. And I mean, all of the hurdles that presents where they can't succeed and thrive the same as other students. And his work is so important, and it's out of the labor of his love for those students. He has not paid a dime to do that, to serve and support undocumented students. He's a faculty member who is pursuing grant opportunities and research publications and doesn't have time to manage that entire caseload, but does it anyway. And so my argument and our argument will hopefully be to have a position, someone with lived experience who can connect all of those resources and connect the dots. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. The Monday land use code discussion I mentioned last week, that's 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday. Please join if you're able. You'll get a $40 gift card to King Supers. If that is what motivates you all, then free food. But they want to hear your voice. And if you care about anything related to water, to sustainability, to affordable housing, like this is the place to do it. I was at City Council last night, and land use code was probably brought up like 100 times. And I was there for maybe an hour or two. It demonstrates that this is very important and central to the values of our community. So you have an opportunity there. I'll mention just briefly with RFDs, there's been a little bit of confusion and back and forth, and I won't go in depth, obviously, because I know it's still sensitive, but around specifically Senate leadership discretionary budget. Y'all are over budget. I know you know that. We are working through it, and we're going to have continued conversations. What I will mention is that Senate got $20,000 more this year than last year. So I would say take advantage of that. If you have an idea for our organization that's specific to Senate leadership or specific to an effort you care about, bring it to the whole body, have the discussion, have the debate here, and hopefully that can resolve some of these issues. But we're working through that as we speak. Met with Senator Burge. Is it Burge or Berg?
Berg.
It's Berg. Senator Berg and I met earlier today. He's incredibly talented, by the way. I don't know if you all have seen his drawings or his design skills, but he put together 3 mock designs for a memorial that we're going to put west of the Laurie Student Center. And it's absolutely stunning. And we're hoping to work with some groups in Loveland potentially, and going to explore next steps there. Very much in the design phase right now and getting a quote and understanding what that would look like. And then hopefully we'll approach all the other stakeholders. But if you're interested in that, let me know of the words that will be held on that. The sign will just sort of describe the tradition of the flag flying at half staff when we lose a student, and then folding it and giving it to the family of the students who have been lost. Ratification is going well. I appreciate that. If you all have any insights on that process, let me know. I did have a conversation with Chief Justice Freeman about this, around if there's ways we can have folks submit information ahead of time, if that would be valuable for the Senate to read and maybe ask specific questions, and or like submitting resume to the entire body. Because I've also noticed a couple times students feel like they need to share something really vulnerable about identities that they hold in a space like this. And I also don't want us to create an environment like that where they feel prompted to share something that they either weren't prepared for, or they just got caught off guard. And so they shared it anyway, and then regretted it for the next 4 or 5 months. I don't want that to happen. And I've seen dynamics like that in ASCSU in the past. So we want to find a solution there. If you care about our lobbyists and you want to hold them accountable to their contract, which we think that they mostly have been, but there's also some discrepancies, and we know that, and they're paid more than the president and anyone else in this organization. And so it's important that we hold them accountable, and we want to do that. So come talk to me if you have interest, and I will stop there, unless you all know an international student. Last thing I'll say, international student for the bell ringing October 30th. I'm going to interview the student, and then they'll get to ring the bell if we win, when we win the football game. There we go. Mr. Speaker.
All right.
Sorry that was so long.
Is there any member from the executive branch wishing to speak? Director of Academics? With that, we'll move to our we'll now move to our judicial reports. Any member from the judicial branch wishing to yes?
Yeah, they have one with it.
Chief Staff Writer?
It's not wildly important. It's just that Director of Academics and Deputy Director of Academics will come another week, and they'll put it on the agenda in a coming week, just not tonight.
Thank you. All right, with that, I recognize Chief Justice Freeman for 10 minutes.
I'm just going to quickly have associate justices like reintroduce themselves to y'all, since I know there are some new faces in this space. Hi there, my name is Kelly Dungan. I'm one of the associate justices this year. I know I've met a lot of you, and I've really had a lot of fun so far getting to know some faces in the legislative branch, but I look forward to getting to know all the new ones too. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Hi, my name is Marcus Zacharias. I'm associate justice here. I use the he series of pronouns. I recently moved my office hours around, so I'm now available Thursdays afternoons and Friday mornings. So I'd love to see some of you guys come by and say hi.
Okie dokie. So next Thursday, the 28th, is Coffee with the Court from 9 to 11. So please come stop by. On everyone's desk, there are RAM recognition cards. The court would like to encourage all of you to at least fill out one for a member of another branch or your branch. Please submit completed cards to the box right next to Officer Torres Doxy. And we are hiring for an elections manager and associate justice. Both close on Friday, October 22nd. So please encourage your friends to apply, repost on your stories of your Instagram, and let me know if you have any questions.
Is there any other member from the judicial branch wishing to speak? Okay. Seeing none, we'll now move to committee reports. We'll start with budgetary affairs. Chair Osterhout, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hey, y'all. What's up? My name is Lizzie. I use the she, her, her series pronouns. I'm the current chair of budgetary affairs. Let's see. Forget what we did. Oh, we went through the lovely resolution about the pay audit on Friday. But I do have big news. Get out y'all like sticky notes or paper or something. Exciting news. Everyone got it out. So basically, I realized we were getting a little cramped in my space, and like in case people on Zoom who normally on Zoom do come in person, we run out of space. So let me tell y'all what I did. So what I did is I got us a new room. We're moving up to bigger rooms. So this Friday at 3:10, budgetary affairs will be in room 372 in the LSC. So just upstairs in a nice big room. So we have space and we won't be cramped anymore. That's it. I'll send out reminders and like cute little flyers and stuff so we can do that. And like if y'all do like forget, there'll be a reminder somewhere in the office. So yeah, that's cool. That's exciting. And thank you. I yield.
All right, I will now move to internal affairs. I recognize Chair AP for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker Hill. This week we discharged Lila's, and finally, my prediction was wrong, but we did it before the end of October, so I'm really proud of us. So this coming week, we will be moving on to either the job descriptions or the remedying a mistype Lex, depending on what our members want to do. We meet Fridays from 2 to 3 in that room right behind us, so please attend if you have any interest in getting to know our governing documents better. Thank you, I yield.
Okay, with that, we'll now move to University Affairs. Chair recognizes Chair Welch for 5 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I'm Evan. So on Thursday, we looked over 2 pieces of legislation. The first one was the pay audit. We did discharge it. And so it's in budgetary and it's going to be looked at even more. And hopefully it'll be good to go soon. And we also discharged the Lex. We felt like that was good and like it didn't really have anything important to do with the university affairs. So we discharged that one. So at the moment, we don't have anything in our committee, but if you do come, it'll count the entire hour, no matter when we end. And we'll probably just try to discuss like what centers are working on and try to help them get through and stuff and make sure they're all doing well. So if you want to just talk to senators, come tomorrow from Thursday from 4 to 5. And I give my time.
All right, with that, we now conclude our committee reports. We'll now move to our caucus reports. Women's Caucus, Chair Morgan, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
Hey, hi, y'all. I'm Treasurer Morgan. She, her, hers. And like I said, I'm the chair. And I'm also an assistant senator from the American Culture Center. And we will not meet this week. We will meet next week on Thursday at 11 a.m. in the conference room. So if you want to like just have a conversation or something, like just come by. And that's it.
Okay, we'll now move to Diversity and Inclusion Caucus. Chair Ritter, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hi, everybody. I am the chair for the Diversity Inclusion Caucus. I'm also the senator for the Native American Cultural Center. I also have biweekly caucus meetings. We had ours last week, but we will not have it this week, but we will have our next caucus next Friday at 1 p.m. in the conference room. It's pretty laid back meeting. I hope everyone, or I hope a lot of you get to make it there. I'd like to tell your faces. It's a really nice time to see and like conversation. Have a conversation and see what's going on in your lives and what you're working on. So yeah, next Friday, 1 p.m. conference room. Be there.
Thank you. Do you yield?
Yes, I yield.
Okay. We'll now move to excuse me. Allergies today. We'll now move to legislative officer reports. Starting with myself. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good. So I do not have very many new reports. I meet with President McConnell in the beginning of December, so I'll send another email reminding everyone to please reply back to me so you all can say what you want to say on behalf of your constituents, and I will relate your concerns or anything regarding that, because I know we have a lot probably to say to our president of CSU. So, and
point of order, will you please back away from the mic? There's a little bit of reverb.
Okay. My apologies. And with that, so that's essentially for that. The next thing is that please make sure you're turning in your Clockify office hours. That is of the 3 and doing the 3 things: attending the Senate unless you have an excuse 24 hours in advance or you have an emergency. Second thing, make sure that you are attending the committees. Same rule, 24 hours in advance if you're not going to attend one of the 3 committees. is required. Also encourage you to join our caucuses as well. However, you must attend a committee. Those are required. Okay. And clockify, it's very important. You turn it in 11:59 p.m. on Friday night. I think there were 7 senators last week, which we had to give a strike. We can do better. We can all turn it in on time. I really don't want to be getting strikes. I don't like doing that. So let's all do that. And I think it was so amazing that we had one of our constituents come propose to us. So one of your office hours, if you can go out and talk to your constituents about certain things like tabling or whatnot. I want to shout out to Officer Torres Doxy for tabling. That was an amazing job that he did. I appreciate that. And, if we can all to our constituents, we can get more bill ideas, what students want our student government to do, so we can get our word of who we are and how we can best help our constituents. So, yeah, okay, I think that's essentially all the reports I have. One more thing. I will be resuming my bill regarding putting bike cameras over the bike racks. I did that as senator last year. I'm hoping to resume that this year as speaker. So if you have any questions or want any help, please come to me. We can have that, any changes or stuff you want to speak to. For what purposes does the Chief Justice seek recognition?
Point of information, I'd like to know how mental health is being taken into account with office hours.
Point of information. Mental health is taken into account to office hours. So if you are having like a mental health day, then you're excused from all office hours for that week.
And do they need to submit that 24 hours in advance?
No.
Or is that?
That is the only exception to the 24 hours in advance rule. Okay. So that's all my reports. I will not be entertaining more Q&A. So we will now move into the next speaker pro tempore.
Hi, everybody. I hope y'all's week is going well. I hope that midterm season did go well for all of you. It's kind of a struggle, but hopefully we're out of it, or we'll be out of it very soon. You got this. For those of you still pushing on, I believe in you. I believe in you. It's rough. It kind of is. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 updates or things that I want to talk with y'all about. Yay. Holiday pay for hourly workers on campus. Last night I learned that people who work hourly jobs within housing and dining don't actually get time and a half for holidays. And that's nasty. We need to change that. So that will be one of the next big projects that I'm working on. If y'all have any ideas or insights or want to talk to me about that, please do. I would love all of the information and all of the testimony. So when housing is just like, hey, we don't do this, they'd be like, ah, but you do. Anyway, moving on. There have been a strange and large number of notifications from the public safety team at CSU regarding peeping on campus. Hopefully, we can get housing and dining to put in one-way mirrors as the windows on the first and maybe second floors of residence halls and apartments. So those instances go down, because that's not good. If y'all would like to be involved in that as well or have any other ideas, please come talk to me and let me know. Again, more brains are better than fewer. So come talk to me about any of these things and it would be amazing. Thirdly, Halloween is coming up. And that's always a really fun, interesting time for a lot of people. Please remember not to culturally appropriate your costumes. And if your friends have plans to, please talk to them about that, because that is not okay. Don't forget to speak up on things that hurt other communities that you are not a part of, even if nobody in that community is around. It's very important that somebody's there in those spaces to let people know that what they're doing is not okay. And it can be very scary at times, but remember to do that. It is important. And as Halloween comes up, so do Halloween parties. Please be safe with what y'all are doing. Be cognizant of what you're drinking, what you're eating, and how you're getting back to your apartment, your residence hall, your house. Please be careful. Please be safe. Ramride is a service that the university does provide. It will take you back home if you need that. And Ramride has partnered up with Lyft to give discounts to students. So please look into that so that y'all can make it home safely. It is very important, and please let all of your friends know about that. Thirdly, motions. We have some new faces in here. The most frequently used motions in this space are on the back of your placard. There's a fun little, like, I move to do something, that there's a description of what that motion does, and the vote threshold, just so that y'all know how many votes are needed in order for something to pass or fail. And if y'all still have questions about that, please don't be afraid to come talk to me. Be like, hey, what exactly does this do? And I'll be able to explain that to you. If y'all are still a little confused about that, because, you know, the first iteration of the description part was like a page long, and I'm like, I can't fit that down on a placard, so I had to parse a lot of stuff down. So if y'all are confused, which has happened because parliamentary procedure is a little interesting, let's use that word right now, to understand. So if y'all are confused, don't worry, you're probably not alone. So come talk to me about it if y'all would like to learn a little bit more about what those motions and everything means. And lastly, as Speaker Hill said, strikes. The worst part of my job is sending out the strike emails every week. Please do your jobs. The things that you get strikes for are not attending, not getting an excused absence for Senate or committee meetings, and not filling out office hours. There have been some really interesting problems on our end with Clockify. So if you get the email saying, hey, you got to strike these, you can put office hours in, you can contest that and be like, I did put my office hours in, and send us the screenshot of that, and that will go away. And that can work with anything else too. If you missed Senate or committee and you didn't let one of us know, or like any of the legislative cabinet members know beforehand, and it was because, you know, some mental health stuff popped up, or you had to go to the hospital, or like some family emergency stuff came up, just let us know. We don't need specifics at all. Just say, hey, this happened and I couldn't attend Senate or committee because of that, and that will be taken away because we do recognize that y'all are students and people first. I think that's about all I have for you.
All right, with that, I recognize a parliamentarian Hunter. I recognize you for 5 minutes.
Awesome, thank you. Hi all, my name is Jackson Hunter. I'm the parliamentarian this year. I'm pretty sure I've at least talked to most of y'all. If I haven't, hello, I'm pretty friendly. So if you want to say hi after, totally welcome. Just a few things. I mean, not a lot of people know what my job is. So I'm in charge of updating and keeping track of our documents, formatting, and facilitating the legislative process. So if you do have legislation in the next few weeks or in a few months, next year, anything like that, go ahead and email that to ASCSU_parliamentarian. That's PARLIAMENTARIAN at mail.colostate.edu. Anything regarding formatting or governing documents, shoot me an email. I can help you figure it out in 5 seconds. Something about meetings, if you need to leave the room for an extended amount of time, I'd appreciate just like a little wave. That being said, going to the bathroom or like filling your water where you're only going to be gone for like a few minutes, you can just go. Don't worry about waving at me if I'm not looking at you or looking down. So if you need to use the bathroom or fill your water or something, just go ahead and head out. Any questions about ASCSU in general? Anyone up here, you can email for sure, but just for stuff specifically like legislation, that's going to go straight to me, ASCSU parliamentarian at mail.colostate.edu. And then I just want to say Senate leadership is here to support you and facilitate a safe space. So if you have any issues in the next few weeks or any issues in the way, Senate leadership is operating. Email anyone that sits up here, the chairs of committees, caucuses. All of us are here to support you and facilitate a safe space. So we want to hear back from you before those issues become too much, you know? And then also, it doesn't have anything to do with my job. I just want to continue talking about Clockify because office hours are kind of important to operate efficiently. If you're confused, kind of like what Speaker Pro Tem Jenkins said, if you're confused about Clockify, reach out as soon as possible. We definitely want you to get your office hours in. And I know it's a struggle every single week when I go to put mine in. So if you have any issues, just shoot an email and don't worry about it. Like, we'll figure out a solution. Last thing, I've finally been able to get around to updating our website consistently. And so if anyone is interested in website stuff, I know it's been an issue for a lot of people. If you're interested in or have any ideas or I don't know, general comments about the website or where you want to see it go, reach out to me. We can set up a meeting. I want to hear everyone's input because it's the way people find out about us and it's the way people access our documents. It's a lot of things. So if you do have any ideas or want to help at all with the website, let me know. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. With that, I will now recognize our recruitment retention officer, Officer Torres Doxy. Recognize you for 5 minutes.
Hi everyone. So my name is Ben Torres Doxy. I use the he series pronouns. For those of you that are new to the space, and for anyone new to the space, I'm the Officer of Recruitment and Retention. So if you're having any problems with fellow senators or just any issues like at all, you can come talk to me and set up a meeting. If you just want to say hi, I'm usually in the office, so feel free to say hi in there. And I have a cool little announcement. We have one more day of tabling this Friday, and you can, if you table, you can get office hours. That was sent in last week's email. It's on a Google Doc. It's from 10 to 2. So yeah, if any of you are interested in that, please let me know. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our legislative officer reports. We will now go to Senator and Associate Senator reports. When I call on your college counselor, SDPS office, those senators representing those may raise their placards if they wish to speak. I'm going to start with the Adult Learner and Veteran Services. Any senator or associate senator? Senator Anthony, recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hey, y'all, just got a quick announcement. I am working in developing a career catalog, so to speak, to be sent out for ALVS. If anyone, any college, respective area, anyone wants to get in on that, wants to put any input, commentary, I'm open to it. So feel free to reach out to me, contact me if there's like specific things you guys want to put into it. If you got any design input, I mean, I'm all for it. I'm a little tech savvy, but some of you are probably ironically enough majoring in web design or something like that. So if that's the case, like I said, hit me up, let me know so we can get something cool. Once I have like the base layout, I'll send it out to everybody anyway, just in case you guys actually do want to use it and send it out to your respective individuals as well. So yeah, like I said, if you guys got any input, anything you guys want to add to it, let us know. That's all I got. I yield.
All right. Any senator from Asian and Pacific American Cultural Center? To recognize Officer Torres Doxy for 5 minutes.
Yeah, so tomorrow night, APAC has a movie night. The movie is Three Idiots, and that is in the room of the LSE 333. For any of you that want to go, it's at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay, Black African American Cultural Center. Any senators recognize Senator Brown for 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Josie Brown. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Nothing too crazy, but I'm sure a lot of you have watched like the Dave Chappelle series on Netflix, and so the Black African American Cultural Center will be having a real talk surrounding that. So if you're interested, I can give you like a better time, but as of right now, we're not quite sure when we'll have it, but it'll be soon.
All right. With that, I recognize new senator from Associate Senator from College of Agricultural Sciences. Okay. With that, I recognize call to business. Okay, I recognize College of Health and Human Services. Okay, College of Liberal Arts. Senator Trout, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
Hi, y'all. My name is Sammy Trout. I go by the he, him series pronouns. I just want to promote a little bit of stuff for the University Center of the Arts. So if you're looking to do something on Halloween, I know they are hosting a Halloween Oregon extravaganza at 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and 10 p.m. You can either go in person or you can live stream tickets. Since all of you guys are CSU students, you do get tickets for free, but you have to go on the website to quote unquote purchase the ticket. I would heavily encourage it. I will be promoting more of this stuff in the future, as I believe I'm one of the only people who are at UCA. But until I have anything more for that, I yield the rest of my time.
Okay, with that, I recognize College of Natural Sciences. Oh, sorry, Senator Shepherd, recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hey, everybody, my name is Bailey. I'm a senator for the College of Liberal Arts. I just wanted to key you all in on a little project that I'm working on. I had a meeting earlier this week with one of the attorneys, Forrest Orswell from Student Legal Services. And what I'm trying to do is this is one of these initiatives that started through my involvement in LSAP. We're looking at petitioning our lobbyists to have legislators take a look at current MIP sealing laws when it comes to sealing those cases. But in a more broader context, what I'm trying to do through this project is start a fund that students can dip into, because we don't want to just limit it to MIPs. We want students who have any charges, we want them to be able to seal those. And a general cost for sealing those within Larimer County or the state of Colorado in general is around $65. And obviously that can vary depending on what the charge is and how many cases that individual has. So I'm currently trying to coordinate with Student Legal Services. Forrest is getting back to me with some numbers on how much money that we would realistically need for a venture like that. So I'll be sure to keep you all updated. And if any of you have stories or anecdotes about either your experiences with sealing your cases, or any of your friends have a need for sealing their cases or anything like that, I'd love to hear it. I'm trying to get as much opinions as I can in these early stages. So if you have any of that information, I gladly welcome it, and I yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Okay. All right, with that, anyone from College of Natural Sciences? With that, I will move College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. Okay, El Centro. Senator Carlisle, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
I have like 4-ish things. Hi y'all, my name is Kimberly Vasher Carrasco Perez, and I am the Senator for Centro. I use she, series pronouns. We have why does it feel like y'all can't hear? We have a Rest for Resistance with the Pride Center. And basically it's just a time to chill, take a rest, and get creative. It's tomorrow from 3 to 5 in LSU room 226 and 228. I don't know if y'all have ever seen Coco, but we're having Dia de los Muertos celebration throughout the month, between like the 25th and the 28th. We're setting up a workshop to set up the altars to remember lost loved ones. We're making sugar skulls, making marigolds, and then we have lunch with Latinx leaders this month on the 28th, around 12. We usually have Subway if y'all want to pop up to that. And then we have a couple financial aid workshops, but one going on this month is on the 25th. I know I had to do my FAFSA by myself. No one helped me do that. So that's available to any student, family who needs that assistance. It's on the 25th from 6 to 7:30. And then I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm doing the Instagram takeover for Centro today. And I'd really like to get a little boomerang of us in Senate. Is anyone opposed to that? And can I even do that right now during my time?
Can you explain boomerang? Quorum.
So Speaker, have you seen like those Instagram stories where people just go like?
All right, I'll allow it.
Thank you. Does anyone not want to be in it? Anyone? Move now or forever hold your peace.
Do you want me to take it down here?
Can we? Yes, actually.
Yeah. So I can get this.
Sweet man.
Yeah.
Please keep sign conversations and then we're still in the Senate. Thank you.
All right. All right, I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and then anyone can like move or whatever. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on. Let me do it one more time. One more time. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me know. Let me know.
I think
Totally okay.
All right, okay. See, we have to have some time. I'll allow a little fun.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield my time.
Thank you. All right. First Generation Collective Board. All right, seeing none, Graduate Council. Seeing none, wait. Senator Martin? Seeing none, International Programs. Seeing none, Native American Cultural Center. Charles Osterhout, recognized you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So hey y'all, it's me again. My name's Lizzie Osterhout. I'm also a senator for the Native American Cultural Center. And I got some big exciting news again. It's just a double whammy tonight. So what's happening is in a week from today, the NAC, we're kicking off our Native Heritage Month. So y'all be happy. I'm gonna go through a list of our events because we do have a good variety of what's going on and it can hit different target audiences and all is welcome. So Wednesday, October 27th, we have our keynote speaker with Joshua Whitehead, 5:30 to 6:30. So there's no excuse why y'all shouldn't be here because you can still make it to Senate next week on Zoom. And then we have an Indigenous people, tribal sovereignty, and climate adaptation panel. And you can do a registration link. All of this is on our website. And I'm just saying this so y'all can get a feel if you'd like to come to any events. So what this is about, it's a seminar series that will feature a panel of the title I just said, featuring Indigenous researchers and tribal leaders in discussion of how land-grant universities like CSU can partner with tribal communities and address the impacts of climate change. And there's some really cool keynotes there. And then on Thursday, November 4th, the CSU dining halls will celebrate Native Heritage Month as well with the Indigenous Kitchen. So step by Corbett Hall and maybe get an Indigenous dinner. It's really good. I don't know what they have this year, but it's always really good food. And then we have Aspen Grill in the LSC. So if you don't like the dining halls, you can get a bit fancy and go to Aspen Grill because they'll be serving some dishes there with featuring corn, sunflower seeds, potatoes, squash, and pumpkins. Or if that's not your vibe, tomatoes, strawberries, and chili peppers. So you have variety too. And then I think it's really interesting. I'm planning on going, but we will be featuring a documentary called Home from School, The Children of Carlisle. And that is a really hard topic because that is the Carlisle Indian School, which is a very famous residential school. It was founded by the same man who coined the term kill the Indian, save the man. So I think it's really beneficial. You all should check it out if you're interested. There's 2 showings here on campus, November 10th, and then at the Lyric, November 11th. And then we have a harvest dinner. So this is open to the Fort Collins community. It's always really fun. We partner with some local professors here on campus and a farm. And it's a lot of fun. It's drive-through style because of COVID. So you all can still check it out. And then we also have a really cool Duhesa Art Gallery reception, which is just upstairs in the Duhesa Gallery. And then lastly, we are recognizing Trans Day of Remembrance and Resiliency. And that is in collaboration with the SDPS offices. and NOCO organizations to just help celebrate that, considering the intersectionalities of our communities. So that's what's going on. I hope something clicks, and I hope y'all plan to attend. If you have any questions, check out our website. All of it's there. Thank you, I yield my time.
With that, recognize Pride Resource Center. Seeing none. Recognize Walter Scott Junior College of Engineering. Seeing none. Warren College of Natural Resources. Senator Scher, recognize you for 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Nina Shearer, pronounced she, her, hers. This week on Friday at 6:45 in the Warner College Canopy Room, which if you don't know where that is, that's room 413. We'll be watching the Wild and Scenic Film Festival, and there will be pizza, popcorn, and apple cider. So if that interests you, or just the pizza, whatever, that's at 6:45 in the Canopy Room. Please be there.
Right, Women and Gender Advocacy Center. And the Student Disability Center. Senator Tulis.
I would just like to, first of all, my name is Walter Tulis, but I would like to add that the Student Disability Center for finals is, if you're going to submit a final and go to the testing location, the Student Disability Center, you have to submit that by November 14th at 4:45 p.m. And there will be no exceptions for that. So if you want to use a testing center and use your accommodations for extended timing, please submit that by November 14th, please. Thank you. I yield my time.
All right, with that, is there any other SDPS or call to council I have not called on? All right, seeing none, we will now move into our confidence business. Parliamentarian, please put 2 hours on the conference clock. Okay, we have one piece of new business. Will the authors please come and come up so we can present.
I need to read the abstract.
And then the parliamentarian, please read the abstract in full. Thank you.
First, or should I present?
Read abstract, please. Resolution 5104, support for hunger-free campus funding. Abstract. This resolution affirms the centrality of basic needs security to our goals as a representative and transformative student governing body. We endorse the hunger-free campus bill as proposed by Swipe Out Hunger and call on the Colorado Department of Higher Education to pursue innovative funding solutions to support programs like Rams Against Hunger on our own campus.
All right, I recognize the author for 10 minutes to present.
Hi, everyone. Happy Senate. And also happy Cans Around the Oval Day. I don't know if any of y'all were involved with the actual event or just donating time or donating food, but it went really well. We definitely surpassed our goals for both money and food. And I think everyone had a great time. So on a similar note, thank you. Okay, thank you. On a similar note, this resolution basically aims to state our commitment to this kind of work on our campus, and to do that by advocating for more for a hunger-free campus funding coming from the state to universities like CSU that have programs in place like Rams Against Hunger that serve students on this campus. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with Swipe Out Hunger. That's a national organization that's been advocating for this kind of legislation across the nation. So far, they've successfully introduced the Hunger-Free Campus Bill in, I believe, 6 states, and they're working on a couple more, getting ready for the 2022 session, which is super exciting. So based on the way that taxes and general legislative procedures work in Colorado, it seems like this isn't the kind of thing that we could realistically introduce to the state legislature and have pass.
So it seems like our best route for action is by talking individually with state leaders, specifically in the Department of Higher Education. So we've been in contact with a couple folks there. And basically what this resolution would do is affirm that ASCSU and kind of by extension, the student body, that they think this is a good idea and that we have organizational support for this kind of effort. So if anyone has questions, I would love to take them.
All right, I will recognize 10 minutes of Q&A, starting with the first placard. All right. Seeing none. Oh, Cheryl Osterhout, recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I ask my question, can we scroll down the legislation so we can see like the people real quick? I apologize, I don't have my glasses on. Can I add a point really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question for you, Walker, Anya, is I was curious how your conversations with the food insecurity specialists is going regarding your resolution, because they're not on the sponsored or collaborated with, or they're written by. That's my question.
Okay, great question. And just to clarify, I wasn't originally planning for this to be sent to Senate so quickly, but things kind of just got rolling after LSAB as they tend to do. But since this has been sent out on Monday, it's been officially endorsed by our food specialist, Julia Dickey. It's also been endorsed by Jocelyn, Director Aji. It's been sponsored by a couple other folks. Off the top of my head, I'm seeing Chair Athey, Senator Torres Doxey, and Student Representative to the Pride Center, Charlie Williamson.
Point of order, that is Chair Torres Doxey. Officer Torres Doxey.
Officer Torres Doxey. Very sorry. Okay, but as part of your broader point, I've been engaged with sustained conversations with Director Dickey about this kind of work. We've been having meetings with Director Dickey, Director Rossler, and Mike Buttram, who's our Food Security Program Director over at Slice. And I think that the way that these conversations have been taking shape, it's definitely a collaborative effort. And I'm sorry to all of y'all that that wasn't reflected when the resolution was first sent out, but it does have the official support of Food Specialist Dickey and sort of by extension, the Rams Against Hunger team and the Food Security Board. So thank you for your question.
I think you already have my time.
Okay, is there any other, Senator Burge? Recognize you, or Burge, or is it Burge or Burge?
Burge.
Burge, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
So I did have a chance to go over the Swipe Out Hunger website, did a little bit of digging on that. I didn't find it clear what kind of the ways of funding look for that. You know, where does the money come from, and then how is it allocated?
Okay, also a good question. I think the thing about Swipe Out Hunger that I really like is that their legislation is flexible enough to accommodate how different states work. So depending on the state, a lot of these come as appropriations to Department of Local Affairs funds or appropriations from the Department of Higher Education or from other different state level departments that then goes directly to campuses so that campuses can decide how best to use that funding. But I think going off of how Colorado typically works, what we're trying to do is just advocate to the Board of Higher Education for them to establish an internal grant process so that they would determine which schools are doing this work best, which they've already done through the Hunger Free and Healthy Minds designation, which CSU has. Congratulations to us for that. So basically they would just work off of that existing designation and then make sure that there are actually funds to back that. So the good thing about this is that this work is basically already done. The only missing part is funds to actually make it happen. Thanks for your question.
You yield. I yield. Senator Pyfrom, recognize you for 5 minutes.
Quick question. And first of all, 100% support this. Thank you for doing this. Just looking at the whereas portion of the text, it mentions that the average CSU graduate from 2017 leaves with 26,300. Is there a more up-to-date stat, or is that the most recent?
Good question. That was the most recent that I could find, though given how this university works, I think we can all safely assume that that since then is considerably higher, especially following COVID. But basically the bottom line is that students at this university and students at all Colorado universities and US universities by extension leave college with so much debt that food security really is implicated in this sort of like enforced poverty that comes to students because of the way that higher education works as a whole.
Thanks. Yeah, and exactly. I know for me personally and a lot of the people over in the College of Engineering, we're well over 150 to 200,000. So thank you for bringing this up, and this is amazing.
All right, any other senator or associate senator wishing to ask a question? All right, seeing none, thank you. I will be sending this to budgetary affairs and university affairs committees.
Can I ask a question?
I already sent it to committees. Apologies.
You can ask a question.
Oh, okay. So do you have a point of, you can ask a point of information.
So small point of information, just to be clear about this legislation, it doesn't have a budgetary component, so ASCSU won't be spending money on this. Of course, I think that this should go to any committee that's willing to take it, but just point of clarification for senators, we don't have to spend anything on this. It's basically just a stamp that says that we approve this message and we'll be talking to our representatives and elected officials about it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll still send it to university and budgetary affairs committees. Thank you. All right. That's it for new business. We have no old business. So we will go to announcements. I don't have any announcements. Is there any other senator, associate senator, or anyone who wishes to make an announcement? Please do so now. All right. Seeing none. Fight song.
I move to sing the fight song. I second that.
All right. Is it seconded? Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Please raise your placards. We're gonna division. All in favor of doing the fight song, please raise your placards high. 6 votes yes. All opposed, please vote. Put your placards high.
That's an overwhelming majority, bro.
We're still. There's still a chance. We're still in Senate. Please decorum. Decorum. All abstaining. On a vote of 6 to 20 to 0, we will not be doing the fight song. Any roll call? Will the clerk please call the roll? Or Speaker Pro Tempore in this case. Please keep side conversations to the minimum and take them outside. Thank you.
I found it. Okay. Senator Silverheart. Senator Sandoval. Here. Senator Shepherd. Here. Senator Baum. Present. Senator Deason.
Present.
Senator Niver. Here. Senator Brown.
Here.
Senator Scher.
Here.
Senator Pifro. Here. Senator Moshe.
Here.
Senator May.
Here.
Senator Tennyson.
Here.
Senator Rosales Garcia. Senator Long.
Present.
Senator Correa. Present. Senator Martyr.
Here.
Senator Mumford.
Here.
Senator Bilodeau.
Here.
Senator Laffey.
Present.
Senator Trout.
Present.
Senator Kramer.
Present.
Senator Anthony.
Present.
Senator Cadacedo.
Present.
Senator Tulis.
Present.
Senator Byrd. Burge. Present. Associate Senator Tefera. Associate Senator Quintana. Associate Reeves.
Present.
Associate Patterson. Associate Davis. Associate Torres.
Present.
Speaker Hill.
Present.
Speaker Pro Tempore is present. Parliamentarian Hunter.
President.
Chair Afey.
Present.
Chair Welch,
Present.
Chair Osterhout, Chair Morgan,
Present.
Chair Ritter,
Present.
Officer Torres Doxy.
Present.
Awesome.